friend just help us out today to help us stop eating our pies.
She poses the best questions on Facebook about relationships. So, and I love to read the feeds.
Renada Collins.
Hey guys, it's me, your girl Renada Collins, and today we're here with more love and wisdom. Myself and Henry Bolden.
I'm here.
How are you doing today?
I'm excellent today. How are you?
I am well. Thank you so much for
great to hear.
asking.
Great to hear.
Well, today we're going to talk about how we do not have to defend who we are. Meaning, people will have their own perception of us. And not just us, because we're here hosting the show, but even you. People will perceive you however they choose to. And to me, my opinion, I don't believe anyone has to defend how a person perceives them as long as you're living according to the drums that beats within you. What do you think about that?
Wow, that was astounding. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's very key, very critical. Most people find themselves altering who they are, trying to reconfigure who they were predestined to be in order to fit into somebody else's preconceived idea of what and who they should be, rather than living life from an authentic place.
Ooh.
And I think you are doing yourself a great disservice if you are living your life edited. In other words, I have to be somebody different around different people or different personalities because I feel like I run the risk of running people away from me. And the more important you make the presence of people, you do it generally at the expense of self-misery. So I think it's important to surround yourself with authentic people, people who appreciate who you are and add value to the person that you are. And when you do that, then very seldomly are you going to be caught in the rat race of trying to change everything about you to please somebody who may like you today and may not like you today. They don't even wait until tomorrow again.
They don't wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's critical.
I mean, you said a mouthful. You said something that I'm sure will definitely help people to understand it's okay to be authentic.
Absolutely.
It's okay to be who you are. It's okay to have your own drum set in your own life.
Absolutely.
Because why? It's your life.
Yeah. And if you're not living authentically, you are existing and not living. You don't live until you get up absolutely every day, confident about who you are, feeling complete in who you are and what you do, and having people around you that support who you are. So you have to make a decision. Am I going to spend the rest of my life existing? Just because you have a pulse and a heartbeat does not mean you're living.
Exactly.
It means you're simply existing.
I agree. I totally agree. And that's one thing that I, when I first began to become more conscious about me, I had to ask myself, what's the difference between living and existing? I found for me to live, it's getting to know me, getting to know Renada.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I want to encourage people. Get to know you. I was so bogged down with others people's idea of what they wanted me to be.
Yeah.
I mean, and where did that come from? I mean, when we grew up, our parents had an idea who they wanted us to become, right? So I had their desires for me.
Yeah.
And I was trying to fulfill their desires. And I'm like, but that's not me.
Yeah.
And they weren't trying to do me any harm.
Yeah.
They just thought that they knew what was best for me.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
People will have their own idea about who you should be and what you should do. But then you have to begin to say, what's my purpose?
Yeah.
And you don't find that answer in people. You find that answer by going within yourself.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's when we begin to live authentically.
Yeah.
That's where authenticity.
Yeah.
You know,
That's it. That's it. That's where authenticity comes from.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
It comes from within.
Yeah.
And so I learned that I don't have to defend a person's perception of me.
No, but you do have to defy the definitions people have attached to you early on, as you were saying. People have their ideas and concept, but you're going to be this like your daddy, and you're going to follow in this person's footsteps, and you're going to do this. So at this stage, you're not, I guess, initiating definition. You spend a lot of your time redefining who you are because your mind has been conditioned and you've been presupposed to believe that this is all you can do. This is the extent of where you can go. This is the margin that you have to live within. But you got to get up every day and constantly redefine yourself. And another thing that's key is that you got to get up every day and reorientate yourself on your purpose.
Yes.
And you have to have an orientation session with people who decide to attach to you. You got to orientate to make sure everybody's still on board. Are you still on board with me being a multimillionaire in the next few years? Are you still on board with me being a media mogul?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so you have to reorientate yourself every day. If you haven't talked to you about your purpose and your future every day, then you are slighting yourself of today's possibilities.
Ooh, I love it.
When you're working within the sphere of what you were predestined to do, you don't have to worry about the cars around you.
Yes.
The road is the most important thing that matters at this point.
Yes, and that's where I'm at in life. Understanding that people will get to where they need to arrive effortlessly. God did not need our help in even creating us while we were in our mother's womb.
Yeah.
So why do we feel we have to get so involved?
Yeah.
And we don't have to. When things are uncertain to me and I'm not sure, I simply say, okay, God, evidently you know where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know why I'm experiencing this. Please share with me so that I can make sure that I'm operating effectively according to the purpose.
Yeah.
That's where I've been, and that's where I'm at in life. And some things go against, like I always say, my conditioning.
Yeah.
You know, it goes against those things. And it's amazing when you look at my life the way I look at my life, because sometimes I have to look at my life outside of my life. You know, I have to look at my life from the perspective of what I've been taught, what I'm learning, and what I am looking forward to experiencing. You know, and my goal and my prayer is that, Lord, just allow me to stay out of my way.
Yeah. And that's the biggest hurdle. The biggest hurdle, and that's a great point, because the biggest hurdle is not the enemy. It's not the critics.
Ooh.
It's you.
Wow.
If God can get you to
it can be you.
Eliminate you. Yeah, it can be.
It can be.
And most of the time it is you. I think, you know, just from counseling and dealing with people, you know, I think upwards of 80%, most of my problems have been me. Ooh. My limited perception of me based on what people told me.
I love it.
And, you know, well, you can only do this. You can't go any further. Don't even entertain that possibility of being any greater than you are now. And so you allow people to put you in this box, and you think this is all you're going to be, but not so. You have to see every day. You got to get, if all you see is what you're seeing now, you don't see enough.
Could I say something? I remember last year in 2017, I had went to church, and I put in my offering. It was $20. You want me to tell you what I asked God for with that offering?
What was that?
I said, God, expand my thought process 20 times greater than what it is now. I said, because you said in Ephesians 3:20, now unto him that's able to do exceedingly abundantly above and beyond my imagination can even think or ask, according to the power that's working within me. I said, God, expand my thought process 20 times greater than what it currently is.
So is a man thinking, so is he. Yeah. Your life is a reflection of your current or your most previous thought. So what I have in my life currently is what I've been thinking of. Whatever your dominant thought is, that's what's going to dominate your life. And so you have the power to change your life when you change your thought, change your point of focus, change what you have to be deliberate in creating something different in your life. You can't sit around and say, I want something different, but yet your mind is still cluttered with all the negative factors, all the negative people in your life. You have to get up every day and say, starting today, I'm going to think. Even the Bible says the thoughts of the diligent tend only unto plenty, which means that I rule out the possibility of any other thought entering my mind that's going to be detrimental to my process. So only. And the question is, what are you thinking about today?
Exactly. And to piggyback off of that, just yesterday, my daughter was out, and sometimes, you have thoughts, and I was like, oh, Lord, shield him, protect him, and cover him. And I did that because a thought came in my mind saying that, oh, I wonder if they're okay. And you know what I did? I had to tell that thought, I do not know where you came from, but you are not welcome here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I'm not sure what's your intent. And anyway, God has protected and covered me, and that same protection is on my daughter, on my grandson, on her spouse.
Yeah.
So I had to renounce that thought. And we have to do that in many different areas in our life. When things are not going according to the desires of your heart, you have to give it an eviction notice.
Absolutely.
If you do not, it takes residence.
It will fester. It will sit there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So some thoughts, I don't know what you guys may be thinking today that's not aligned with the desires of your hearts and your intentions and your purpose. But however, give it an eviction notice. Let them know it's time to go packing. And you have to do that. What the Bible says, every day we have to be given new grace and mercies. So periodically throughout the day, you have to think about what you're thinking about.
Absolutely.
And what you're thinking about do not align with the desires of your heart and your intentions, evict it immediately.
Get it out of there.
Get it out of there.
Yeah.
And even though we went totally way off, but I think that was for an amazing purpose.
I think it's in sync with it though.
Okay, cool.
I think because if you don't control your thought life, your thought life will affect your perception. It will affect your sight. It will affect your action. It has a trigger down effect. If I don't protect my mind, that's why I have to guard my mind and what's coming in, and I cannot give it permission to persist in my life.
Exactly. Yeah. I've learned. Whatever is in our lives, we either allow it by default or allowing by accepting what people say and the thoughts that come to us. You have the right to remove any things that do not align with your purpose, your reason, your intent. And so with that being said, that's why you do not have to defend the way a person wants you to be. That's their way of thinking. You do not have to join, how they say, misery, love company.
Yeah.
You do not have to join the miserable thoughts that they perceive about you.
Absolutely.
That's my thought process.
That's mine too.
Awesome.
I see more on the inside than I see on the outside. And so most people are judging you or making the determination about you by what they see externally. When I'm so much further than you internally,
Okay.
I'm so far beyond your. And after a while, you get to the point where you're so mature and you have such a great and healthy perception of who you are that you just discard negative opinions as either ignorant or immaturity. And you don't sink to a place of pettiness where you have to defend, no, I'm big. No.
Right.
That's not necessary at this point.
It's not.
Always see more on the inside than you do on the outside. Wait for the outside to catch up with what you're seeing on the inside.
Right. And with that being said, the only person who will have to validate you is you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
We don't have to seek validation from someone else. And how did I know that? Because I looked at so many things that was going on in my life, and I realized that I allowed people, teachers, co-workers, boss, family member to validate who I am. So when searching and getting to know me, I had to remove all those illegitimate validations that I allowed to take residence in my life and say, no, Renada is amazing. Renada is awesome and phenomenal. Renada is loving and caring. And guess what? Renada is wise to understand who she is at any given time. And I'm also wise enough to know that I have the right to change.
Absolutely.
Most people make you feel condemned when you change your mind.
Yeah. What they said is not a life sentence. You have to remember that. what they said is not a life sentence. Too many people are living under the plague of life sentences. Somebody told you what you couldn't do at 17 and you're still struggling with it at 40. So you have to break those words. If you live for the applause of people, you will die from the lack of it.
Golly.
If you live a life where you need to be affirmed and I need somebody to pat me on my back in order for me to feel like I'm going in the right direction, then you're gonna be miserable. Because the person you give the right to affirm you or validate you, you also give them control of your will and how you feel about yourself at any given time.
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay, so one thing, and I share with my daughter a lot. She's my best friend. We have a lot of conversation, and I learned even in my communicating with her. And there was a time in life when I shared with her, I said, whenever you change your emotion or your desires because someone else thoughts or their actions, right? You just given them control. You just gave them control.
Yeah, you've submitted to manipulation.
You submitted, exactly. So with that being said is, some people have anger issues. When you allow yourself to become angry because of someone else's actions, you're saying, hey, I'm giving you control and I'm mad because I am. So now this is my result. I don't want you to have control, but you are controlling my feelings. You are controlling my emotions. And the only way I know how to react right now is to become angry.
Yeah. Well, that's too much control to give anybody.
I know.
If your peace is altered at the appearance of somebody, you could be doing great and then somebody walks in the room and they're like, oh man, they here. So what you have done is, again, you've given them power and dominion over your emotions. And if people know what strings to pull and what buttons to push, they're going to do it.
Yes.
But I'll let you in on a secret. You have to learn. Those of you watching, you get an exclusive secret from me. I've mastered the art of knowing that some people no longer mean enough to matter.
Ooh, woo.
The moment you remove meaning or significance from people, they no longer mean enough to matter.
Okay, guess what? We're going to talk more about this. We're going to go on a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about giving people enough permission to matter. Hey guys, it's me, your hostess, Renada Collins, with our all-new 2018 season, Power of Perception. What's your perspective? It's 2018, new topics, new ideas, and all new Renada Collins Love and Wisdom Show. Want to share your wisdom on the Renada Collins Love and Wisdom Show on forgiving, forgetting, and loving again? Do you think no means no for women too? New ideas and all new Renada Collins Love and Wisdom Show. For more information, go to www.renadacollinstv.com. And we are back here, myself and Henry Bolden.
When people no longer mean enough to matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
So finish. Go ahead.
I think you have to know that you are not under any obligation to live under the words of others. And the moment you take that perspective, as we were talking about yesterday, take that perspective and say, I don't need anybody's permission to live the way I want to live, to move the way I want to move, then you're going to walk in a place of liberty.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yes. And I love that. I love that you said that people no longer mean enough to matter. Yeah. To me, that is the essence of life. Yeah. For me, that is something I have been implementing into my life. And it's not because people aren't valuable. It just means that this is me. I am who I am, and I respect who they are. Yeah. Where we meet, hey. Where we do not meet, I respectfully allow that to manifest for them. And that's why we have today's show. We do not have to defend others' perspectives of us. Yeah. How they perceive us is irrelevant.
It is. Because here's the issue. If you're watching, if you get this, it's going to change your life. Never trade your significance for acceptance.
Ooh.
Never trade your significance for acceptance. Don't dummy down who you are in order to be in certain cliques or certain circles. Don't A lot of people make this mistake. More often than not, they are so significant, and then you see the people they're running with, and because they have this needy addiction to people, they will downsize who they are in order to fit into somebody else's small box. Don't give up your significance for acceptance.
That's so sir. I'm not a person who will condition myself to the ways of others to justify them. This is what I learned about 3-4 years ago. I said, why make myself miserable trying to make someone happy who will not be happy anyway?
Absolutely.
You try making them happy, you try, and then you know what? You're never going to be good enough. No. So then, if you want to allow people to be significant, matter enough, you're saying, hey, please use me as your puppet. I'm willing. The only person who I'm a vessel for is God.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because I believe that God has my best interests.
Yeah.
And not, like I said, now that I am in tune with understanding God and God's purpose for me, I communicate.
Yeah.
I ask. And I tell in my prayer, and I hope that you guys adapt to this as well, should you feel it's that you would like to, is that I ask God, I say, God, give me the ability to recognize what it is that you have purpose for my life.
Yeah.
When it changed, give me the ability to understand that that has changed also.
Yeah.
Allow me to know what I am to do with that intended purpose.
Yeah.
So now I'm learning, hey, either you love me or you love me not. Who is that? Soldier Slim? I'ma be me. Is that Soldier Slim?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? I think it's Soldier Slim. Either you love me or you love me not. I'ma be me. I love that song.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Either they love me or they love me not. No matter what it is.
Yeah.
I can only be me.
Yeah. That comes with maturity. You know, because I wish I could tell you that I've always had this, love me. No, there were times you got strung along by people and you needed their attention, you needed their eyes on you, and to make balance for this so that they understand we're not anti-people. We're not saying you don't need anybody.
Right on.
You just need the right somebodies, and they are there. God, there are people that just love you for you. They don't care how much money you got. They don't care what your title is, your position is. They just love you. God gives them a genuine love for you, for your betterment, for your advancement, and whatever they can do to help you succeed, they're going to do it. My point is saying that once you recognize the people who are detrimental, who are non-contributors, and you write them off as being non-essential to your success, then, don't let the negativity they say matter anymore.
Hey guys, it's me, your hostess, Renada Collins, with our all-new 2018 season, Power of Perception. What's your perspective? It's 2018, new topics, new ideas, and all new Renada Collins Love and Wisdom Show. Want to share your wisdom on the Renada Collins Love and Wisdom Show on forgiving, forgetting, and loving again? Do you think no means no for women too? New ideas and all new Renada Collins Love and Wisdom Show. For more information, go to www.renadacollinstv.com. You think about the Renada Collins Love and Wisdom Show, you think about freedom, being authentic. You think about a movement where communities are growing and individuals are able to be themselves. You think about all the great possibilities that life has to bring. You think about love. You think about wisdom. And you think Renada Collins. Are you looking to advance your skills in broadcasting and media? If so, join the Renada Collins Love and Wisdom Show internship program. For more information, go to www.renadacollinstv.com. But I'm gonna tell you what it is. When your circle is made up of what most people would say is dysfunctional. you need that dysfunction for balance, because the one who may appear to not have to may well let me say this, they may have your best interest, but their intent may not be what you think it is. That person is still vital to your success. Mind you, if Jesus never had Judah, the mission of God being sacrificed for us would have not went through. Judas had to be, I'm saying his name
Judas.
Judas had to be there in order for the purpose to be fulfilled. So do not cut off all people who appear to not have your best interest. They're there for purpose.
Well, I'm cutting mine, so yeah.
But now imagine you cutting that person. You're cutting a piece of purpose.
Well, but you're absolutely right, because you need them, those who have been planted around by the enemy, because that's the prerequisite for God preparing a table before you. If you have no enemies, you have no table.
Exactly.
So
you just use that discernment, and that's what I tell when I'm like, okay, God, so they have to be there. Just give me the ability to know how to effectively operate so that the mission do not become aborted.
Yeah. So the key here is always be more discerning and less desperate. Don't be if you become less desperate, you won't just let everybody in on a whim. You'll have more scrutiny as to who you allow into your life and into your circle, and that's gonna bless you, I think.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
I definitely think so. This show has been amazing as always, and I am super excited to share it with you.
Yeah.
You are so phenomenal.
You are so phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You share so much great insight on the topics that we present to our viewers, and I'm looking forward to our next show.
I am too. I can't wait to get here.
Me too, I know. Yeah. I'm super duper excited, guys. So we'll be back next time. You stay tuned. Remember to always follow us on all social media outlets. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Renada Collins TV. And how can they find you?
Anywhere on any social media platform. Just type in Henry Bolden, BOLD, and I'll come up somewhere.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day. Happy days to you. This is your life, and you have the right to live it. You think about the Renada Collins Love and Wisdom Show, you think about freedom, being authentic. You think about a movement where communities are growing and individuals are able to be themselves. You think about all the great possibilities that life has to bring. You think about love. You think about wisdom. And you think Renada Collins.